MTG Requiem here. I am coming with some Elves vs Merfolk. Just played against it earlier this week, hadn't played against it much, so I was asking one of my buddies if he wouldn't mind jamming a few games. Yeah, we'll be on the play. So this does pretty much everything we want to do, so we'll give this a keep. Or we will keep this. So I don't know, I feel like Aether Vial. Wow, look at all those caverns. I feel like Aether Vial seems theoretically like it would favor us, but maybe not. So if they don't interrupt us, we probably can rush out faster than they can. Harbinger, assume a bouncing of the Archdruid, bouncing of the Mana Dork. So this is actually interesting. The Mana Dork is actually, it's not free, but we cast at the Archdruid. We can tap for that much mana anyway. I'm just trying to think if we can get, yeah, I think we can get Mystic and Visionary and Archdruid all down. And this 2 Archdruid sets us up to potentially a Zuri overrun next turn. So this is a good start for us. Inamo. So it's actually interesting now. With the board setup we have, one elf is going to generate us 2 mana, potentially. Wouldn't be shocked to just see Dismember on one of the Archdruids if he has it. Going Lord of Atlantis. We'll just take that. That actually just strengthens the odds of us winning with Overrun. Maybe we get a Harbinger bounce, another Lord, yeah. So Harbinger bouncing one of the Archdruids delays us a little bit. So let's think this through. If we drop both of these, we have 5, we can overrun an attack for 10. But we could just hold up the mana. We could also just throw Archdruid down again. He's down to 3 cards. I feel like we're better suited to drop Azuri on the turn we attack. I also like the fact that the flip side is if we don't throw Archdruid down now, we could use Azuri for regenerating blockers. Either way, this is happening. We can't handle bounce effects. I guess what's the worst case scenario? He drops 2 Lords next turn and attacks for 5, 10. I think it's really... I think we actually just need to... See, the problem is I don't know that we can get overrun next turn if we don't play the Archdruid now. And I think if we play the Archdruid, the odds of him having Spreading Seas and Lords enough for lethal is small. He's gonna so he'd have to have a land, a Lord, and the Spreading Seas in hand. And if he does, I think we're kind of screwed. Because at that point, I know, because then he can't activate Mutavault anyway, so... Alright, so Master of Waves is chalked up under things that we are happy to see happen. Alright, so right now he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Let's assume this is a lord. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Toughness on board. If we play Azuri, we can tap for 7 to activate once. Or we could play 8. I don't think we're going to get more than 2 activations out of this. Assuming we tap both of these, we attack for these guys with... So now I think we maybe even consider Cocoing before, because we may be able to get some shaman damage in and still get this attack. So we are now at, he's got him down to 10, and we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 elves, which means we can get double overrun for 2 guys, which he has to block as much as possible. So I think we just go for that. Because I don't think after blocks he's going to be able to amount lethal back. So we will regenerate this guy. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Sorry, my daughter was hacking along. Alright, so then we're going to also regenerate this guy. That's booze. Go to combat. So if it's a Harbinger, this is kind of troublesome. Go figure. So he's going to bounce one of those guys. On the plus side, he's still got to stop. I guess he only has to stop, what? 9 damage. Alright. Yeah, I guess the regeneration would have been better used. I feel like that's kind of a misplay. Regeneration is much better used. He's tapped out. He's not going to kill any of my creatures that turn. Regeneration would have only been valuable on blocks. So whatever. It's 6 a.m. I've had no water. Or no coffee. See what I mean? So I think he's kind of drawing out to needing a Lord, I presume. Or Spreading Seas, rather. Alright, so he's going to draw a card. Yep. Alright, so he didn't draw the seas, so we get the win there. Alright, so I think Dismember is good here. I think I'm going to bring in one Fracturing Gust. It can get Aether Vial, but it can also get Spreading Seas. So if we have one there just in case, Beast Within's a consideration. Elvish Champion, we don't need the Lording in this game. I don't mind going down to about 32 creatures. So I think maybe we take... Actually, that might be too many beasts. I think we could cut a lead here. I did not bring in Choke yet. We need to bring Choke in. Don't think we need either lead for that matter, not in this matchup. It's not really grindy. Card draw is probably more important than extra bodies. that's pretty close. Really don't like taking shamans out ever, but I might actually take a shaman out on the account of Spreading Seas, knocking us off black. Sorry about that. That last game was kind of slow. Trying to think through stuff, a little groggy. Also, my daughter you may not notice I tried to go on mute, but my daughter came out twice during the match, which isn't normal. I just don't think this is acceptable. So we're on the draw. The opponent could have Spreading Seas, which completely lock us out. I mean, the absolute best case scenario is we draw another land, in which case we're still not hitting any sort of combo, although yeah, so I don't think this is really good. I think we mulligan this. This is better. At least we get a scry, and we should at least get one of those visionary hits. I'll put that on the bottom. So I'm just assuming here he's going to dismember. Nope. Okay, well that's positive. It's not unsurprising. This is why we went for an extra land, right? Alright. Now I just need to draw into some gas. So he plays a Silver Gill Adept, revealing a Silver Gill Adept. Okay, so I was actually hoping that might happen. Didn't necessarily expect it to. But now I kind of feel like we just run it out there. And I mean, we're kind of, yeah. We don't really want to attack into the Adept, I suppose. I guess we would. Yeah, I absolutely would attack into that. So he only gets stronger as the game goes on. Master of the Pearl. Looks like he's stuck on mana here. Nope. Alright, so he does have another land. He can throw a Lord down, and that the Lord actually gets in the way, so we start to have really unfavorable trades. We can't block though, which is the worst. So we need to let him attack first in theory. So we can attack back. Right now we have 3, 6, 9 power on board. So he probably won't attack here. Maybe he'll attack with 1. Thinking he can buy himself enough time. I think it's kind of scary on his part knowing we could be dropping more Shaman. So I'm willing to send Shaman in because he trades with any of the creatures. Worst case, he blocks 2 more. We get 4 in and replace. Am I willing to lose all of those? I think I think at the moment we just do. I mean, he's gonna attack back. See, he's got 5 cards in hand. We still could pull something to hold Spreading Seas. I don't know. No, I think we need to. We can't block anyway. I think we just need to put the pressure on while he's tapped down. We're still just 1 card away from a drain. So I would think you take the silver. So yeah, he's just trying to keep all of his creatures alive, I think, right now. Probably should have kept one of the Llanowar Elves back. Possibly just to make it look like I could Shaman after attacks. So since this is testing, my buddy was just asking, does Elves typically run Dismember? So I think what he's getting at is he knows he runs a risk of, and I told him most Elves lists run 1 to 2 Dismember. So he's trying to determine the opportunity cost of if I Dismember his Master of Pearl Trident right now. Alright, so we do a 6 damage. Yeah. On the plus side, I guess it depends on what he does here. So if he runs out like Master of Waves, we're completely dependent on Court of Calling. Sorry, I think I pulled Court Collected Company, Shaman of the Pack, stuff like that. So he could right now attack for 12. No, because he just played the second Mutavault. So 11. Now it starts to get nasty though. So now he's got 12. 15. So what he may do is he may try and go for the Mutavault. And then attack for 15, holding Dismember up, or Vapor Snag. And on top of that, have one creature back to block the Shaman. So it looks like maybe he considered keeping the blockers in case I get a Lord or something. Alright, so no Harbinger because he needs 4 to cast it at instant speed. So, I mean, we're just dead here. There's nothing we can do. If we attack, he blocks, say, three biggest creatures. We get 2 in. But again, he's going to attack back lethal. So worst case, say he blocks here to here, or Mutavault to here. He's still attacking for 8, 14 next turn. So we're just going to go ahead and concede here. Excuse me. Alright, so we're going to go to game 3. So lost that on the draw, now we're going to be on the play. No, we did end up keeping the cord in, okay. So I think I'm still good with where we are. Just wondering if Lead the Stampede might be better than a cord. No, so I think we have enough elves on board that being able to cord for like a shaman makes more sense here than getting just a bunch more creatures. Fortunately, this happens with elves sometimes. I think we put that on the bottom. Alright, so discussing this actually is really interesting. So my buddy's just thinking, or was mentioning how he had counter magic up, and I'm not really thinking about this when I make my changes here. Collected Company does become a little weaker, as does Court of Calling, because of the fact that they're holding those spells up. So I may need to consider that with sideboarding here. I'm probably pulling too many creatures out, keeping too many spells in. So assuming the bird doesn't get bolted and the other land is not get spreading seized, we should have access to Archdruid this turn. Alright, so that's less than ideal. That's doubly less than ideal. Too bad he didn't do this to that. Because we could have still untapped it with creature spells. So he's got a nice interactive hand going on there. And I think Merfolk's a good deck. It seems to be able to play so many different styles of games. Fortunately, while getting to 5 there didn't help, and the selection of cards we ended up having were not the most explosive anyway. Miro Reardre is a hassle. Fortunately, if he drops another Lord, we're not even going to be able to act like a blocker. Oh man. This just isn't going to cut it, I don't think. Problem is all of our interactive spells now are at 3. We don't have any mana on board. Now we don't have the ability to cast spells. We absolutely have to have a forest right now. One thing we do have going is if we do draw into any mana, we're going to start to be able to explode. The flip side is he's getting to the point now where he can start to unload his hand, presuming it is proactive enough. God, I used to play Tidebinder Mage a lot. Alright, so now we're on 8, so it's a 2-turn clock. Best thing, we draw land next turn, and we're probably still dead. I'm going to let him play it out, but no, I mean, so either way, doesn't matter. We throw an elf down next turn. He blocks it. Or say we block something. We still can't do anything, we lose the next turn.